Hello. In today's video, we are testing out the Titan X1 by Rotolight. This is Rotolight's new 1x1 panel LED. It's designed to be used both in the studio and on location, but today we're going to test out its powers as a studio light.
Full disclosure, Rotolight sent us this light to review, but this video is not sponsored by Rotolight and they did not compensate us. So if it's not good, we're going to let you know.
But there's no way it sucks, right?
I mean, it's really unlikely, right?
Over the last few years, I have really gravitated towards shooting LED over strobe when I can. Now, there's a few reasons that me as a portrait photographer really loves LEDs. There's something about capturing a moment that's difficult to do with a strobe. It's much better for me when they don't expect the shutter to go. So that's one of my main reasons. That's probably where I started with LED, and then I started to really love the quality of the light. What I think it makes my digital files look exactly like film. I love LEDs for that reason. The main thing I'm going to test today is whether the X1 works as a key light for the style of portrait I like to take. This light has tons and tons of features, but it's not cheap. So what I'm really interested in is whether it performs well for portrait photography, especially my style of portrait photography, and whether it's something I'd be excited to add to my kit. I'm psyched to play with this thing, so let's get started. In order to test this light, the best way for me to do it is to keep all my variables not variable. What I mean by that is I'm going to use my favorite gray backdrop, I'm using my favorite stool, posing stool, I'm using my favorite camera and my favorite lens. So the only thing that I'm not 100% sure what it's going to do is the light. And I feel this way I can really focus on what the light's doing, if I like it or if I don't. I have Monica on the chair. I've started at my absolute comfortable position here, where I'm like 45 degrees off the subject. I have the Titan set at white. I have no tint, no nothing set, and I have no diffusion. So basically I have these barn doors which are open, and this is where I would start. So let's start. Now what did you do? But you got that little green stuff right in the middle. Can you see it? Wait, can you see the green stuff in her teeth, guys, on the monitor? I'm messing with you. Yeah, see, there's a shot. I think this is exactly where I would start. Spirit of all honesty, we have made a couple of little adjustments in our capture. We've done some stuff for the highlights and the shadows, just as I would normally do on a first image, first test. So this is really in my wheelhouse. I love initially how specular the light is on Monica's cheek. I love the gradation of the shadow to the light, and this is looking really good. But I think what I would do now is just move the light back a little bit, see if we can get a little more drama, a little more shadow. The other thing I'm going to try is I'm just going to close down these barn doors a little bit, see if I can cut some light from the bottom. Not that I feel I really need to cut any off the top, but you guys I'm sure can see on Monica that I'm just literally cutting some light there. That's what these barn doors do. The next thing I would do is I'm going to pop a little bit of fill, but not with another light, with a white card.
When this light comes and hits this side, it becomes a much bigger source and kind of throws light everywhere. So we can already see that the light on this side of her face is a little bit harder than this side. So we have a nice soft fill.
Close your eyes for 1 sec. And when you open them, you're going to be in Nancy Pelosi's bedroom. There we go. This is a shot. I really love this shot. I'm super happy with it. I think what I'd like to see now is this light's all about built-in diffusion, and I'd really like to see what that does for us. So we're going to start turning the diffusion up. We'll turn it up halfway to 50. Hopefully you can see on Monica when we turn it up the difference it actually makes.
This is without any diffusion. This guy here is with diffusion. and you can see how much softer the shadow is. And you can see how the light, where we have a hard edge on one side, is a little bit softer and bends around. You can see the hard shadows in the side of a nose that just aren't there on this one, because that light, when the light hits the diffusion material that's built into this glass, just like if it was hitting a 5-in-1 or it was hitting a one-stop diffuser, the light, just like when it hit the V-flat, hits the diffuser and just goes in every direction. And it really allows for the light to wrap around.
I'm thrilled because I have diffusion now built in on this light. So I can make a choice, even during a shoot, soften it up, harden it up, which just makes things easier. And not only that, there's a really beautiful quality of the light. There's something really unique about how Rotolight LEDs work. There's a super sharpness from my lens, but there's something just got a hint of softness from the light. So even when the light is set to hard light, it just has something a little softer. And I love being able to super quickly be able to switch, like, hey, give me some diffusion if I think it's too hard, or take the diffusion off, let's do this. So that's a beautiful built-in function that I'm super excited about. All right, so with LED, I've seen strobe functions before, never been that impressed with them. What would be nice is to have the LED feel while I'm framing up and not like a strobe modeling light. Let's try it.
Rotolight does recommend a number of transceivers. Some, I think, communicate with TTL and that kind of stuff to the actual light head itself. Although none of those transceivers work with Leica as far as we know, so we're just using good old pocket wizards today.
To really test this out, I'm going to take a frame. I've changed my shutter speed to 1.25. I've taken the modeling light down, so I'm getting a nice modeling light, but not really enough for an exposure. So just to show you what it looks like without strobe first. And smile. Brilliant, she smiles completely on demand. So yeah, so we're a few stops under, but you know, I can definitely work with the light to see what's happening. So we have the strobe on now. Let's see how this performs. Now, I'm going to be super honest here. I am wide open at 1.25 at 200 ISO, and that's my max strobe. So I really think if you're looking for like big strobe situation, this might not be for you. If you want to shoot timing wise to get the pop, pop, pop to work with fashion, I think this is more than wonderful to do that. But if you're, once again, if you're really going for that big power on the strobe, I'm not sure that this is for you. Oh my God, girls on film. All right, folks, so the next thing I want to do with this, which is probably the thing I've been saving for last, which I'm most excited about, is I always, in my retouching, put some color into my images. Now, I've tried to do this before in camera, never really got it where I want it to be, but the X1 has this incredible ability to match gels, match anything that you can color, you can come up with and match it. So what I'd like to do is kind of find a color place that I like and shoot some color pictures and see if I can get that warmth. And I'm sure that if I can do it in camera, it's going to look better than it ever does when I retouch it. So that's next up.
One of the cool things this light has is it has all these gels, Rothko gels, Smith gels. Those packs are built into this guy. So we come over here, we hit our filter button, and we immediately choose a medium amber Rothko gel.
We're dialing in some colors. It's super interesting. So this is working. It's going to take some practice for me to get it exactly where I would want it to be, but it's working and it's beautiful. For fun, can we try a blue? Now, in all honesty, I don't use a lot of gels. I don't often see them used well, and maybe I've never had enough practice to do it. If you look at some of Alex's work, you can see some really bad examples of gel.
Thanks.
But what is exciting is to have the ability to have, they are built into the light and you can dial in anything you want. So that's super, super exciting. Genuinely, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed taking photographs.
Yeah, that was fun.
A little bit.
Yeah.
The light, I haven't analyzed anything deep enough, and I'd be lying to you to say I had. And I go a lot with my gut and my feeling. And I think the quality of light was special. And I think it really looked better than than the Rotolights I've been using.
Yeah, I think we both have a lot of experience with the previous 2 and 3 generations of Rotolight. And I do agree that this light just has a better quality. That's with and without diffusion, so that's super cool. Who is this light for? I think this light is for somebody who needs the versatility of a video light. You know, this light has a bunch of super cool special effects built into it, and you can look around YouTube or look at Rotolight's site and see people showing you all these different examples. But for me, it's not a standalone light at $5,000. I like the effects. I'm so glad that we're gonna have some of these things to add to our kit for me to use in the future. I think it looks great on video. It's a lot cheaper than a bank of Kino flows.
The biggest strength of this light for me is really great amount of power from an LED from such a small form factor. Built-in diffusion is everything. Just that ability to genuinely make a quick decision, not lose pace of your shoot by, you know, quarter stop, half stop diffusers, just to be able to dial it in. Being able to match so accurately my color temperature from the light to capture one.
Super cool.
And it was beautiful, it was perfect.
Well, on that note, thanks for watching, everyone. Let us know, you know, if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, you know, opinions about Mark's photography, let us know. See you later.